Hello everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood comic book nerd, Nick here. Now, Marvel and DC have been victim to countless rumors and leaks over the years, being home to some of the most popular franchises in history. With this popularity comes rumors, bad Photoshop jobs, and faked leaks, but every once in a while, a rumor or leak proves to be true. So, today we'll be looking at some popular Marvel and DC rumors and leaks, both those that turned out to be true and those that didn't. Now, before we get started, I want to clarify this isn't an in-depth list, and I'm sure I'm missing some honorable mentions. So if you have any leaks or rumors that come to mind, let me know in the comments below. Beginning more than a decade ago in 2009, a significant event occurred within the film industry. This incident being the unauthorized release of an early version of the film X-Men Origins Wolverine onto the internet. The leak occurred approximately 1 month before the scheduled theatrical release of the movie. A high-quality work print version of the film, which lacked some visual effects and post-production elements, found its way onto various file-sharing platforms. This unexpected leak had a profound impact on the film's production company, 20th Century Fox, as well as the cast and crew involved in the project. The leak of X-Men Origins Wolverine raised concerns about piracy and copyright infringement within the film industry. Thus, the response to the leak was swift and decisive. 20th Century Fox, in collaboration with law enforcement agencies, launched an investigation to identify the source of the leak and take appropriate legal action. The studio also took measures to remove the leaked content from various online platforms, aiming to minimize the impact on the film's box office performance. Despite the leak, though, X-Men Origins Wolverine managed to achieve commercial success upon its official release. In the end, the 2009 Wolverine movie leak was a significant event that had far-reaching implications for the film industry. While the incident had its negative consequences, it also served as a catalyst for change, leading to improved practices and safeguards within the industry. Though that hasn't stopped leakers from finding ways around all that. For example, The Dark Knight Rises had 7 minutes of footage leaked online in 2011. The 7-minute Dark Knight Rises prologue was supposed to be only screened before Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol in only 70mm IMAX theaters, which amounts to just 42 theaters in the country at the time. Suffice to say that for most audiences, there was a good chance you wouldn't catch it. So, an unknown person filmed it and brought it to the masses. Although it wasn't shot particularly well, you got a sneak peek at some of Bane's dialogue. Now, all links to this 7-minute clip are gone, as the studios were especially quick to react. But due to a transcript of the footage provided by theblemish.com, we can see that the footage was that of Bane being rescued from the plane in the beginning of the movie. Seeing this leaked footage got fans excited to see Bane on the silver screen for the first time in Batman's cinematic history. And what a performance by Tom Hardy, too. Another film in 2011 that got the poorly shot leak treatment was the first Avengers movie. This bootlegged footage showed a trailer featuring Steve Rogers hitting a punching bag and then being approached by Nick Fury, something we'd see a bit more of in the form of a teaser set to show after the credits of the first Captain America movie, which at the time had not yet been released. But that wasn't all that we saw. The video also showcased Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and a flying Iron Man. This leak got fans excited for the Avengers movie before any footage had been officially released, something many outlets, like The Hollywood Reporter, picked up on. And this wouldn't be the last leak the Avengers would face. No, in 2015, Avengers Age of Ultron would get a similar treatment. An apparent after-credits leak featuring Spider-Man took the internet by storm. Fans online hitting message boards discussing whether or not it was legitimate. The production quality was too impressive for it to be fake. At least, that's what many were thinking. I, for one, was fooled at the time. Even the voice for Spider-Man was close to what we'd see years later with Tom Holland. I mean, it looked too good to have been faked, right? Well, no. It took Joss Whedon himself to debunk the rumor. Turns out, it was the efforts of an unknown group of pranksters who put together the whole thing. And props to them, it was convincing. The entire internet was on fire with rumor and intrigue. Even some news websites and popular blogs got in on it. And while we would see Spidey, eventually, alongside Marvel's Avengers, it wouldn't be for a few more years. On the flip side, an Avengers theory that did turn out to be legitimate would come around some years later. This theory being that Endgame would take place 5 years after Infinity War. Reported on by Screen Rant in a list of things they hoped would happen and things that they wished wouldn't happen, this theory was under Hope Not. Screen Rant reported, quote, Cassie Lang has been reported as the latest new addition to the Avengers 4 cast. According to rumors, she was cast to play Emma, Ant-Man's daughter. However, Lang is 6 years older than the current actress that plays Cassie, Abby Ryder-Fortson, end quote. Screen Rant theorized that this must mean the next Avengers takes place 5 years in the future, something they turned out to be right about. Screen Rant also observed that in leaked set photos for Avengers 4, you could see a clean-shaven Captain America, Tony Stark, and Bruce Banner with their original costumes from the first Avengers movie. From these images, Screen Rant stated, it looked as though they traveled back in time to relive the events of the Battle of New York, something Screen Rant again would be right about. Why they thought Avengers 4 being set 5 years in the future was a bad thing, they don't really expand upon. But it was certainly a shock to moviegoers, even if some of us may have seen it coming. Turning over to the opposite end of the rumor mill with DC, a poster from Reddit claiming to have seen Batman v Superman was quickly debunked once the film released. But prior to its release, they had many convinced. They even supplied some proof in the form of a photoshopped email. Something that now, looking back, it's like, duh, okay, yeah, that's clearly fake. It's littered with spelling errors. But at the time, with all the hype surrounding BVS, it was just something you wanted to believe. Some of their claims included Jenna Malone playing a crippled Barbara Gordon, who references The Killing Joke, a Jimmy Olsen, played by Scoot McNairy, who gets injured in the events of Man of Steel, but doesn't blame Superman, and in fact runs a popular blog in support of him. Of course, these claims, and the others made, didn't come to fruition, but it was fun speculating on these points at the time. The poster was even doing a Q&A with people in the comments. I think many were fooled by this, especially me. Though, given I was 14 at the time, I can't say I was the smartest at detecting fake posts. Another BVS post that had many speculating was, of all things, an Instagram post from Justin Bieber. Especially because there was so little context with the image, it had me and many others scratching our heads as to what it meant. One of the biggest rumors to come from this picture was that Bieber would play Robin, which would be horrifying to say the least. Though, to be honest, I don't remember many people believing in this rumor. More common was the rumor that Bieber would play a role in the movie, just not a major one. It had everyone guessing what part he played, if any. All in all, it was a pretty bizarre post, not helped by the fact that Bieber made no further comments on what he meant. We would just have to wait and see until the film released to find out that thankfully, the worst thing to come out of that movie would be Jesse Eisenberg's neurotic Lex Luthor. Since we're on a roll with DC leaks though, another leak, one that ended up being legit, was that of a script leak posted on Reddit. Posted by user Dawid, I'm not even gonna try. On r/DCEU leaks, in the video, we saw someone in the Warner Brothers offices moving nervously around the building until they found the Shazam 2 script in what looked to be someone's office or a boardroom. They then flipped through the pages to the end of the script, showing some dialogue between characters. This leak wasn't really anything big or shocking, but it was really cool to see a preview of a movie in a way that you don't normally get to see. Although, would have been more cool had they shown more of the script. Speaking of things behind the scenes that you don't usually see, we got to see footage of a Batgirl movie that would ultimately never be released. Initially announced in 2017, the film was set to focus on the iconic character of Batgirl, also known as Barbara Gordon, who is part of the Bat family and an ally to Batman. It's been said that 90% of the movie was filmed before Warner Brothers canceled it, which is a shame because seeing the Bat family on the big screen for the first time since the 90s would have been awesome. Though, from what I've heard of the movie, it was somewhat of a mess and the writing wasn't great. One of the main factors contributing to the cancellation of the Batgirl movie was creative differences between the filmmakers and the studio. Additionally, the decision to cancel the Batgirl movie may have also been influenced by market factors and strategic considerations. The studio may have assessed the potential profitability of the film and determined that it was not a viable investment at the time, given WB was going through some big changes. On the other hand, a film that should have been canceled but wasn't was the somewhat recent Flash movie. Something highly anticipated by DC fans and especially fans of The Flash. Seeing him on the big screen was a massive deal and something I personally was so excited for. But due to a specific actor and their bad behavior and a controversial presence, the film was destined to fail. And honestly, that wasn't even the biggest part of why this film flopped. A large part of the blame goes to the bad direction and rushed CGI. But that's besides the point. What we're focused on is leaks. And one leak that came out of this movie was the inclusion of Nick Cage's Superman. Something that frustrated the director of the movie when it leaked, but honestly hyped fans, including me. Seeing Nick Cage's Superman is one of the reasons I saw the movie. And to my disappointment, it was only like a minute of the actual movie. The rest of the movie was like a bad fever dream. I'll never forget that baby microwave scene. And that right there is a sentence that could only make sense in this context, dear God. Anyways, flipping back to the Marvel side of leaks and rumors, a big one leading up to the release of No Way Home was, of course, the Andrew Garfield set leak. Something Garfield vehemently denied was legitimate and had fans scrutinizing every pixel. Some fans claimed his head was photoshopped onto someone else's body in a Spider-Man costume. Others insisted it was legit. Many were on the fence. I myself couldn't help but believe it was real. I've never seen a Photoshop so convincing, and honestly, the idea of seeing all the Spider-Men in one movie was just too exciting not to believe. Plus, it didn't help that in the Brazilian trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, we saw some invisible force punching the lizard, leading many to believe that the other two Spider-Men were edited out of this shot. And since we already knew Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and Jamie Foxx's Electro were in the movie, it wasn't that much of a stretch to believe that their Spider-Man would be too. In conclusion, leaks and rumors are exciting, but they're also dangerous. Sometimes leaks ruin surprises and make reveals a little less special. That being said, they also make the build-up to a movie all that more interactive and personal. Finding out bits and pieces of an upcoming movie and learning more about it steadily building up to its release is such a fun experience. Like I said in the beginning, this is by no means an in-depth or full list of Marvel and DC leaks. I'm sure I've missed quite a few leaks and rumors, so if you have any that came to mind that I didn't mention, feel free to comment below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, subscribe and hit like. It helps me out a ton and motivates me to make more videos like these. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.